Well, hello. My name is Anthony Sakaro. I'm founder and president of Providence Financial and Insurance Services, located right in the heart of the San Fernando Valley in Woodland Hills, California. And periodically, I like to do a market update or provide some information primarily for my clients. Information that is not necessarily what you're hearing out there in the media, because there's no point for me to regurgitate everything that you already hear on the various media channels that you watch anyway. And oftentimes I wind up basing my videos and my conversation on what questions we're being asked. And one of the questions that we're being asked now has to do with the Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade merger. One of the reasons that we're being asked this question is because if you're a client of ours, you know that, in fact, we use TD Ameritrade to wind up holding the assets for our clients. And our clients have asked why it is or how it is that this merger is going to affect them. And the answer is it's really not going to affect you at all. Will there be some hiccups and some changes? Probably. I don't think there's going to be any hiccups for you, our client. I think there's probably going to be hiccups for us, but I don't think it's going to be really a huge deal. I'm actually excited about the merger. Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade become a much bigger firm combined. As a matter of fact, I jotted down some notes. By the time they're done, they're going to have a combined total of $5 trillion under roof, so that's pretty healthy. They're going to have 24 million brokerage accounts. They're going to have $16 billion of annualized revenue, of which half of that is going to be in pre-tax profits, so very healthy. They're going to provide custody services for registered investment advisors like us, like our firm, for over 14,500 RIAs, which represents about 40% of the registered investment advisory market. So that's healthy. That's a very good number. And ultimately, I got to imagine that means that they're going to stand out. They're going to do what they can to stand out. They're trying to build their registered investment advisory platform. They've been trying to do that for a long time. TD Ameritrade was a competitor, so it made sense for them to buy them. But I think that actually means we're going to wind up getting better service, not worse. I think everything's going to get better. I think the technology is going to get better. What we have the ability to do on the back end on our side, I think, is going to get better. So I'm excited. And overall, what they are expecting, that is Schwab, they're expecting that in the first year, by having purchased TD Ameritrade, they're going to increase their revenue by 4.2%. In the second year, the revenue is going to go up by 10.7%. And then the third year, the revenue is going to go up by over 23%. This is compared to if they would not have purchased TD Ameritrade. So it looks pretty healthy. Now, that's the result of the merger. And we're expecting that this is going to happen. They've told us that this is going to happen at the second half of 2020. So I don't know any more than that. This whole deal really kind of caught everybody by surprise, except for the people at Schwab that were thinking about doing this. It's now become enlightened that they've kind of been trying to find who to buy over the course of the last year. E-Trade was someone they were thinking about buying. TD Ameritrade was on the option list of companies to buy as well too, but it was a little too expensive. And I want to share with you the rest of the story kind of behind the scenes. I think you're going to find this very interesting. And I've gotten this information from several commentators from just kind of doing my own research and putting it together as well too. But it's very interesting what Schwab did. They actually did it very, very smart. And both Schwab and TD Ameritrade started having declines in their stock price as the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates. When the Federal Reserve lowers rates, it's not good for banks. It's not good for the brokerage firms because they make a lot of interest on the cash accounts. It's one of the primary ways that they make interest. So it's not good in general. And Schwab had come down in price from May of 2018 through October 2019. So what is that, year and a half? Their stock price dropped about 43%, and TD Ameritrade stock price dropped about 48% over the same time period. So what that does is it makes TD Ameritrade less expensive, right? The stock price is lower. It costs less for a company to come in and buy out TD Ameritrade. But do you remember on November 25th, not November 25th. November 25th was the date that Charles Schwab announced that they were buying TD Ameritrade. Prior to November 25th, I want to say a week or two. I don't have the exact date in front of me, not a big deal. But prior to that, do you remember when Schwab announced that they are cutting commissions, no longer charging commissions for the buying of securities? Do you remember that? A lot of people do. If you buy your own securities, if you had a Schwab account, you certainly knew that, but it was really big news. But it was big news to us. It was big news to people that follow the financial markets. If you don't follow the financial markets, then you might have slipped over your head. You might not have even heard about it. But Schwab announced that they were cutting commissions to zero. They were not going to charge any more trading fees. And what that did is that immediately caused other companies, aka TD Ameritrade, to instantly cut trading fees because that's a big boost in competition. People that are do-it-yourselfers are going to gravitate to where there are no fees compared to where there are fees. So if I'm not correct, it was either the same day or the next day after Schwab announced that they're cutting fees to zero, that TD Ameritrade announced that they're also cutting fees to zero as well too. And several other firms have also followed suit very quickly. So what that does though is that hurts their revenue. But it hurt TD Ameritrade more than it hurt Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, 6% of Schwab's revenue depended on the trading fees, whereas somewhere between 15 and 16% of TD Ameritrade's revenue depended on the trading fees. So as soon as Schwab announced it, what that did is it forced TD Ameritrade to wind up to immediately do the same thing, to cut the fees. Well, what that did is it crushed TD Ameritrade stock. Their stock went down, I want to say it was like 26%. I think that's the number. Don't quote me on it, but it went down a lot, like on the news that they were cutting the fees very quickly. So that then made the stock price very cheap, and Schwab came in and bought them. I don't know about you, but I find that very interesting. I find that very sneaky. Schwab was helped a little bit by the interest rate environment in general. As rates go down, it hurt the firm, so Schwab and TD Ameritrade came down. Schwab was looking at buying TD Ameritrade, so Schwab says, how do we get a sale on TD Ameritrade? Oh, if we cut out all the commissions and the fees, they're going to have to do the same thing. If they do the same thing, their stock price is going to drop, and then we can buy them. It was one of the CEOs, but I don't remember which one, but either Schwab CEO or TD Ameritrade CEO, I believe was one of those two. But someone said that it could have been a $30 billion deal, but because of this, it was a $26 billion deal. I don't know about you, but saving $4 billion in my book sounds like a good deal if you're going to purchase another firm. So it was quite interesting how they did that. And that really is the rest of the story. Now, another question that we often get is, well, how is TD Ameritrade going to make money? How is Charles Schwab going to make money if they aren't charging these fees? Well, I think it's important to understand the platform for both of these companies, for Charles Schwab and for TD Ameritrade. Both Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade and many of the other brokerage houses out there, they have a retail side, a retail sector, a division, and then they've got the institutional division. And if you were to call Schwab or you were to call TD Ameritrade and you were to tell them, I want to open an account, well, they're going to put you on the retail side. You don't have an advisor. You haven't hired an advisor like us. And when they put you on the retail side, essentially you're going to do it yourself. They have an 800 number with licensed representatives on the other end. These guys are not financial advisors. They may or may not be investment advisors. Really, they're there as kind of a customer service line. It's almost like if you have an Apple phone, you can call Apple and ask questions about your phone, right? But they're not going to really sit there and teach you how to use it. They're not, and it's the same kind of thing with TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. They're not going to teach you about investments. They're not going to educate you about investments. You have some questions about, mutual fund A or B. They can answer those kind of questions, but you're not getting a lot of advice. It's more customer service. And that's what happens on the retail side. Well, these firms also have an institutional side. And institutions work with us, the registered investment advisor. So if you're a client of mine, then what happens is we put you on the institutional side. And TD Ameritrade recognizes that we are your customer service. We are the ones that are providing the service to you. So if you call TD Ameritrade and you ask them any questions about your account, they're going to say, no, you got to call your advisor because it's our account. It's your account, but it is our rep code, our representative code that indicates to them that we're managing your money, we're helping you, we're providing the customer service. That's no longer their job. So how does this all come into play with how they make money? Well, as we mentioned earlier, 15 or 16% of TD Ameritrade's money was indicated through the trading fees, which are no longer there. Schwab's was 6%. So without the trading fees, it doesn't mean that they're not making revenue. They're still making revenue. It's just going to be a little bit less. But here's one thing that a lot of people don't know. When you have a TD Ameritrade account, or when you have a Schwab account or any other firm, you have a core cash account with your portfolio, with your account. And every one of your accounts, there's a core cash account. Could be referred to as cash, could be referred to as a money market account. It's really just a bank account that is FDIC insured. It's not paying you any interest at all. I mean, when I say none, I mean 0.1% or less. Really just as bad as the banks out there. And your money is going to sit there until you wind up investing it. And so throughout all the accounts that Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade has, the fact is that they've got these accounts that are sitting in cash earning nothing. Well, what they're doing is they're investing that money. And they're investing it safely, so you don't have to worry about it. You still have an FDIC insured account. It's really just similar to a bank, right? When you put money in a checking account or savings account, they don't pay you on it, but you know that they're making money with your money. Well, it's the same thing with these cash accounts with Charles Schwab and with TD Ameritrade. They're making money with your money that is sitting in cash. And there's hundreds of billions of dollars that's sitting in cash that is actually that's actually benefiting TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab because they're using that money to make money. Now, Charles Schwab, just to give you an idea, in the first half of 2018, they made $4.8 billion from the money sitting in cash. $4.8 billion. That was 54% of their revenue was the money sitting in cash. So that money is a cash cow for them. Now, what we try to do with our clients is we try to take that cash and invest it in a money market mutual fund. So it's still a money market account. It's not FDIC insured, so there's a little bit more risk, but the concept is the same. It's a liquid account that can be sold at any point in time. The interest rate is going to fluctuate. The yield, I should say, is going to fluctuate a little bit. But the reality is it's generally fluctuated for the last year between 1.75% and 2%. And that's what we're doing with our clients' money that is waiting to be invested, is we're putting it into this money market account that's actually going to earn you 1.75% to 2% without really any additional risk. And we're trying to do everything on our end to get you as high of a yield as possible while maintaining the level of safety. So that's one of the advantages of being with a registered investment advisors. We can do stuff like that. Now, TD Ameritrade doesn't like it, right? Because then they're no longer making the money on that money. But that's too bad for them. That doesn't matter. If you're with Schwab on the retail side, or if you're with TD Ameritrade on the retail side, then you don't know about that. You're going to just leave the money in the cash. You're going to continue making the money with the money. You're going to earn nothing on that. They're making their hundreds of billions of dollars a year on that. Well, actually, we said what? Schwab in first half of 2018 made $4.8 billion. So it's not hundreds of billions a year, but $4.8 billion in the first half of 2018. They're going to make that on your money, and we're going to do everything we can to get you in that 2% range while waiting for you or while waiting for us to finish investing your money. We're not leaving your money in that money market account permanently. But why not earn something while we're waiting to invest it? So that's what we're doing. So I think that's just important to know as far as how that works. So that's really what I wanted to share with you in this video. We've gotten a lot of questions about the Charles Schwab TD Ameritrade merger. I don't think there's going to be any hiccups for you, our clients. I think it'll be smooth. I think there's going to be some hiccups on our end, but that's our problem, not yours. we'll deal with that when it comes. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be good for everybody. I think it's going to be good for you. And I think it's going to be good for us as well, too. So if you're a client of ours, you know how much I appreciate your business. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your trust. You know I don't take it lightly. If you have any questions about this, you want to talk further, please feel free to call us. We try to reach out to our clients once every 3 to 6 months just to let you know we're thinking about you, and we're always looking at your account. If you haven't heard from us in 6 months for some reason, I'd love for you to call us and let us know. And if you want to set up a review meeting for anything, feel free to do that. And if you're not a client of ours, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about anything you've seen or you're interested in learning more about the services we do, all of that's available on our website at providencefinancialinc.com. Thank you for watching. God bless, and have a wonderful day.